Okay, no more drama talk, a little bit, mostly, 99%. Get into football, because that's what it's all about. I know some people, their hearts are broken. They have no belief in the future. Other people do. But those people who don't believe them, I say, screw this Jets game I'm watching. And guys, I'm one Greer gone, but what if he's not gone? You got to keep evaluating because you never know. I mean, anything's possible. I highly, highly, highly doubt it that if Greer comes back and gets another draft, that he's going to figure it all out and put this thing together. But you never know. And we're Dolphins fans. And I can understand if you don't want to watch, but for me, especially because it's my gig, I've got to keep evaluating players and coaches and the framework and everything because if we get rid of Chris Grier and we're going to get a new GM, I have to kind of evaluate these players and staff so I know whatever happens next. I can say, well, this is good and this is bad. And again, if Grier returns. So it's important. And you might not want to watch because of whatever, but you want your players never to quit. And you might not like every player on the team, but even the guys you don't like, they're sacrificing their bodies. And so out of homage to what they're sacrificing and on what I want them to be, I'm also staying on as well. It's also my gig, you know. But I've always been kind of like that. The only time I got totally off the Dolphin train was when the stash was around. After he screwed over Marino and seeing that guy's face. I mean, he's a nice guy, don't get me wrong, but I just, I remember flying into Miami and picking up a magazine that said Marino who with Fiedler, and I was like, so I was like in and out through that period. But other than that, I've been in every time. So anyway, I'm going to get into the Jets and Dolphins game, the evaluations and what this means going forward. Before I do that though, tonight I'm doing a live at 10 p.m. Got a really cool dude that I met in the comments. You'll see him tonight. He's got a great name, Dirk. I got to ask him if it's his real name. Dirk Taylor, man. It's like a superhero name. He's Frozen Finn fan. He's very interesting. And when you find out where he's from and how he's doing his show, you'll be interested. He's a smart guy, too. So we're going to talk, and he and I are going to talk. I'm going to interview him mostly. And then whoever's watching, we can answer the comments and all that stuff. So come check us out there. I was going to do the AFC Shakedown on this channel tomorrow here, 4 p.m., but a guy who used to do the show with, he's stopping in. So we're going to do it on Tommy's channel, Mafia Sports Report. So check us out there, 4 p.m. Saturday for the AFC East Shakedown. Now, last part, I got people in the comments saying a bunch of stuff. I mean, good stuff, good stuff. Like you got to promote yourself. They don't, you got to promote yourself. So I've always felt weird about that. So guys, you've been helping me out a ton with the likes, the subscribes, the comments, all that stuff. Feeds these voracious algorithm gods. But by feeding them, that keeps my sponsors keeping me. So please keep it up. And if you haven't subbed, please sub. Please hit the like, notification bell. I remember hearing that on a channel just the other day. I was listening to them, how they do it. So that's the whole deal. Anyway, guys, let's get into the whole deal. Jets are they're like the Dolphins, but worse. They're underachieving, sloppy. They got holes on their team, got dysfunctional all over the joint. But we're home. They're very injured. We're not so injured. We're getting kind of healthy, although there's some things. So in the grand summation of things, I think we win. You got a little home cooking. And some of the matchups of our strengths versus their weaknesses good. They really can't affect our weaknesses as much, although they can a little bit, again, to that. So I'm thinking like right off the bat, 24-17 Dolphins. I think it will be contested. I think maybe we'll get out to a lead and slow down or vice versa, whatever. It's a division team. They got talent. They're just really in a bad spot, which is not bad. Just has returned. Their offseason is going to be very interesting. Maybe ours will be too. So that's the low of it, but the layout of it. Now, before I get into that stuff, I want to put this little thing up quick. Chris Kauffman is good. You got to pay attention to him. So just to understand who we are as a team. So when you begin matching them up against the Jets and you look retroactively through the season, this information is going to be critical. But Kauffman did an amazing job that he incorporated the 22, 23, and 24 season. And when you see this, you're going to be like, some of you are like, oh yeah, these are things that I've been saying. But again, Kauffman has a way of taking my long thing and bringing it down to a very succinct point. And so right here, you're seeing we are dead last in the league in 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. So that is not good. So I'm going to read his little tweet here. Dolphins are the worst short yards, 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 in offense in the NFL in 22-24. What I find most perplexing about it is the fact that the LA Rams are the best over the same point. Sean McVay and Mike McDaniel are both Shanahan disciples. And he added one part is that we're dead last this year. And then, let's do a bug in here, man. No, I want to kill him so bad. I want to smash him. Hulk smash. So we're dead last this year, 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. And then we had 4 teams behind us. So we were 28th worst in 23 and 8th worst in 22. So we were terrible for a reason. And to flesh it out is that we can't interior run block. And sometimes we get them because they're playing high leverage. But in essence, they're able to play the high stuff, slow us down enough times on these shorts. And then if we want to pass, we're really in a non-conducive environment. And so we're worse now. We're 5th worst 23 and 5th worst in 22 and 3rd 1 and 4th and 1. That's terrible. You don't win championships or much that way. And to answer his point to a certain degree, we have not had good blocking tight ends. Ingles pretty good, but he's hit or miss in the run blocking game. And our offensive line, 22 was pretty good, but we had loads of we had Tehran go down and guys go down. And then 23, we had all kinds of guys go down. And this year, we got Tehran in, but he's like on one leg. And we don't got Connor and we don't got Hunt. I mean, and even John, who's awesome in the pass game, he can't run block. So this is the framework. It's not deniable. This is a long track record of information that says we are soft. El Softito in Miami land. Now, back into the rest of the stuff. So you got to keep that in understanding. Jets, their weaknesses, they're soft in their run stop. Can we affect that? Can we run inside on this team? It will be interesting. Jets' weaknesses, run inside, their O-line. Verituckas may not be playing. Morgan Moses is doing a Tehran where I think he might be playing, but he's got a bad knee, bad shoulder. He's got all kinds of stuff. And so Smith is still out. So they've got a ripped up offensive line, which we can take advantage. I don't think Chubb's playing. I'll get into the injuries in a second. They lack a run game. I think we're going to be able to stop that. We got Fuller back. We got Ramsey. Kohu goes into that 3rd spot. I think they're going to be able to do some stuff to us, but it's going to be hard sledding for them, both in the run and pass. They struggle with points. They struggle with yards. They lack discipline. They are tied for the most pass interferences at 13. And so when you tie all this together, on the road, all this sloppiness, whatever we are, which is not good, they're way worse. And we should win. If we lose this one, then, I mean, this is the easiest game from now to the end of the season. I think the Jets in their house week 18 could be tough because they're going to be playing with pride. And I don't think they're quitting. I don't think they're pulling Rodgers out. So I think that one's going to be a harder one. We'll see how things play out, injuries and all. But this one, we got to win. Don't win here. I don't want to hear anybody say this or that. And I'm going to do tomorrow a comparison. People are like, oh, we got injuries and we got this and we got that. Look at the Lions. 18 guys on injured reserve and all kind of other injuries. Their defense is ripped and gutted apart, and they beat the Packers. They were 12-1, and their time frame for the build is shorter than ours. And they're way ahead. The guys they draft play. David Long Jr. got a fumble recovery, I believe, and he's our guy. We kicked him off. He's on the team. They're pulling guys all over the place, and the machine's still running because they're built better. They're built smarter. They're built right. They built with a traditional concept that actually is now fitting in the NFL cycle, where our man, Chris Greer, built this avant-garde, wild approach for fun ball, which was even wild for fun ball. And now he's got his pants down, and he's the king without clothes. So we have running problems, rushing problems. I think they're not going to be terrible this week. I think we can get some big plays off. Our offensive line's looking healthy. Lamb's back. Tehran's not playing practicing for the third week. I think he had one limited practice. It's going to get worse. I feel bad for the guy. People who knock Tehran don't understand what this guy's playing through. You would be crying. This guy's probably in pain all the time. He's a warrior. We got to, you might not like this play or that play, but this guy's playing through a lot. And you say, it's for the money. Yeah, of course, everybody does everything for the money, but he could just sit on the sidelines and get the same money. He is a warrior. He's playing pretty darn good, very good. But it's going to get worse. So I think he's playing even though he's not practicing this week. Our interior offensive line, Eichenberg and Brewer and Jones are going to be in. So you still got the continuity, and Lamb's back. He struggles. We'll be interested to see with that. We got discipline problems, but they got way worse. Way worse discipline problems. And so I think that as you do the matchups, Quinnen Williams, though, is going to be very interesting. Quinnen Williams is still a wrecking machine. They're still one of the top pass rushing teams in the league. They still can cover, even though Sauce is going to be out. Sauce has got a hamstring injury, and he's missed 2 practices. I don't know what all these guys are missing today, but he's not playing. They don't want to tear that thing. He's too valuable. And the way he plays, he can't have any tweaks and be slowed down. So that would be an area to attack. It'll be interesting to see if we can, and I'm sure we can. So they're very good to pass rush. We get the ball off quick. Now, Mosley, the middle linebacker, he's their heart, the brains, the center of that defense, tying the back and the front end. He's been gone for a while. That's a big reason why the defense has been suck and eat, though. So he practiced Wednesday. I think he missed today. It'll be interesting. That's going to be a key piece. If he's out, oh man, they're in big, big, big trouble. But if he's in, he's a very good cover linebacker. He runs the things. It could be a little bit tougher for us. On offense, like I said, Rodgers is having his efficiency so low. He's missing things. He's looking bad. I really believe the Jets were going to be a tough team this year. I thought Rodgers was going to get it back. But he doesn't seem to be set. I don't know why. People say he's done. I don't think so. I don't know. But he's not good. And that offensive line, if Morgan Moses is not in, even if he is, Chop's going to be working on him. And he with the shoulder, which is going to mess his ability to handle the bull rush, and the knee, his ability to kick back and get there quickly. It's really going to hurt him. It'll be very interesting to see those 2 matchups, Chop versus Morgan Moses. Fashan, who's on the left side, he's a young guy, so it'll be interesting how that plays out. Simpson, out from 3 yards per carry, was talking about how good he is. He's played really, really well. And he's a big guy. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in there. And then Verituck, like I said, is out. So they're going to, I don't know. I think they're going to be able to attack us in some ways. But we're really healthy on this defense. Walker might not be in. So Weaver's going to have a pretty full man staff. McDaniel's going to have a pretty full man staff. They've got to win. I just don't see, I see, but I don't see a way for us to lose this week. Now, the thing, though, is what do you pull from this evaluation? This is how it goes. We lose. We suck. And then we win. And even if it's against, the Three Stooges and Tom and Jerry, they put a football team together. It's like, see what we did? We're awesome. We finally figured it out. The lights flicking over here. And so you can't get too crazy. You've got to evaluate this thing within a bubble and help it project. But with that thing Kauffman showed you, it's clear. Part of the reason that Rodgers is struggling so well is because they can't really run the football. the way he called his offense and sitting in the shotgun all day and maybe the pistol, that worked a lot more in the fun ball last cycle, but you're seeing it curtailed now. Look at Detroit. They're the model. They're putting all the points on. Why? Yes, they have a very good offensive line, and they lost Decker, and they brought another guy in, and he's doing well. Skip or Ship or something like that. I can't remember the guy's name. So, yeah, it's the offensive line. It's the use of the tight end, and they got a good tight end, and they get their receivers in the middle rounds and find guys, and they bring them in. And then, they got a defense that's an aggressive style defense, and they got a good interior guy. These are the tools they've built, but you have to understand they're run first, and they're under center a lot. And I think if you watched the game last night, something that I've been saying for a while, holy cow, the YouTuber is an idiot over here. I see people say, you're some random YouTube guy. Well, how about you check my history? I've been saying for a long time, when you're I'm going to say it slow, not for most of you, but for some of you, when you're under center, the defense has a problem locating the football. When he turns his back, whether it's play action or hand the football, they've got to pause. And when he's under center and immediately like that, they've actually got to play a little more pause in their drops and reacts and even creep up to the line. And so all that stuff creates ambiguity and keeps the initiative on the offense, which gives them the huge advantage. It's the primary advantage. And so if you're spending all your day doing your draws and shotguns and pistols, defenses are so good now, it cuts the opportunity for success down dramatically. You've got to have balance under center and from shotgun, and that's what they're doing. They're the model, not us, them. And so both Tua and Rodgers play in this shotgun pistol look very, 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 very rarely go on the center. And it's that's the main, not the main reason. It's a driver, a solid driver to why both these offenses are struggling. And so you've got to watch this thing and understand, we beat them. They're a failed model. And that's not what it's, we'll see how we do against San Fran, who's struggling because they had very limited offensive line. That's not the whole reason. They drafted a guy who was pretty good, but Trent Williams has been down. And they lost a lot of pieces on defense and offense, but still, they've got to start asserting more. They got a very good tight end, but that offensive line's But they're going to be very tough. They're kind of running the right model. They run inside, run outside. They got the tight end, but they just beat up. They went Super Bowl last year. It's hard to come back from that sometimes, especially when you lose. They're going to play Cleveland. That's going to be a tough one on the road in their house. And then we're going to play, who else? Oh, Texans. They're going to be tough too, but their model a little bit is off as well because their offensive line is not good. And it's a lot of the reason why Stroud's having problems. I mean, he's going through a sophomore slump, but that offensive line is garbage for the most part. Not like garbage, but it's not good. But they got a great defense they can get after you, so that's going to be tough. So all these models that we're seeing, and Jets at the end, not a good one, but it's bad environment. But those models are going to be very difficult. So what you see against the Jets, you've got to evaluate it within context. We lose, I think, there's nothing to be said. I guess if they win, we'll be back to being awesome again. I don't know. So this is going to be a good game. You've got to watch it because they're failed. We're failing, if you want to be, hopium. So how do we, match up? Because clearly we're not in the very good category of the Bills and Green Bay. Getting close is not the cigar. It's winning. So we're not in the category of the Bills and the Green Bays of the world, who aren't in the categories of the Detroits and of the world. I think KC is a really good team, but they've got all kinds of issues as far as health and stuff like that. And, they're struggling because they've been going for so many postseasons. I think they're starting to get tired. But we've got to be able to beat the Jets who are failed. We don't beat the Jets, then, we're bottom of the barrel. So get ready for this game. I think it's a critical game for your evaluations. It'll be very interesting to see. There's a lot more stuff I could talk to, but I would, get too deep or whatever and maybe go on too long. So I'll be talking about some of that stuff, though, tonight at the live, so come check me out with Dirk from Frozen Fin Fan And then I'm going to definitely try to get that Detroit Lion comparison tomorrow. We'll see. The old man feels and the family lets me. But I'm going to get it done no matter what. Somebody had brought that up, and it was brilliant. I got to find his comment. But you'll see something totally, the way it was built is totally different. And it should tell you that Greer is no bueno. So thank you for everything you do. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out. Today by getting signed up with acebread.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.